Shalom. 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 All right, Shalom. Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come out here week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of America, which is also known as Babylon the Great. It's also known as Sodom and Egypt, according to the book of Revelations, the 11th chapter and the 8th verse. And we're here to prophesy the downfall of it because of the immense iniquities that it commits against the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, whom this world ignorantly calls God, his only begotten Son, whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, which his real name is Yahweh Shai, right? And we're here to chant this place down and to let these people on the sign know that you are the true children of Israel according to the Holy Bible, right? Because that's another offense that Babylon has committed against the Lord, is touching the apple of the Lord's eye, his chosen people, according to the book of Isaiah, the 44th chapter and the 1st verse, right? So before we officially get started, we want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. I want to send double honor to the elders, apostles, and bishops at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and safety is to the hopeful elect document out there doing this work. Much love to the scattered elect, which are you Israelites that look like these heathen nations where you were scattered, right? But by the seed of your father, you are of one of these people on the sign of the chosen nation, no matter what you may look like. Much love to the sincere Aquat out there that subscribe to the true doctrine as well, right? So we're going to get into Psalms, the 10th chapter. You know, and there's Esau Edom, you know, because this Psalms, the 10th chapter, which I believe is a psalm of Asaph, and the brother can correct me if I'm wrong, you know, where he was just pointing out the mindset of these Edomites, all right? You know, how they operate, you know, just pretty much their connotation. And you know, what's a twin book in the scriptures is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, which we don't have to get. We may touch on it here and there. But, you know, it just shows you how Esau Edom operates. And this is a major reason why society is in chaos, man. Okay? So we're going to get straight into the scriptures. We pray you elect brothers out there and you few sincere sisters out there are edified. All right? So let's get into it.
So Psalm chapter 10, verse 1. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble?
Right. And who wrote this song? Does it say David? Khan. Read that again. So this is the King David. All right. I think when I was thinking of Asaph, I'm thinking about Psalms like 73. But yeah, you go ahead.
It says, why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble?
Right, and right now, the nation of Israel, we are in times of trouble, man. All right, we're at the lowest that we've ever been as a nation morally. And this is a deserving punishment that we're receiving. So, you know, in the times of David, you know, what he was saying is like, Lord, we're going like, damn, you that mad at us? Why you hiding your face? Where you at, Lord? Why you not responding to us? Why you not helping us? Right? But this is all these punishments that we receive stem from the curses. Okay? Did it apply in the times of our forefather King David? Yeah. Because Jacob's still going through it, though there was a time of peace during the time of King Solomon. All right, there was a time of peace, but that didn't refute the curses that we were going through. And this is from generation to generation up until this very day that we're dealing with the same thing. It's like the Lord, it feels like, damn, the Lord ain't even watching for us in a sense, you know?
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right, which it read down a myriad of things that we were going to experience over time. Okay? You know, just to name a couple of things, it mentioned that we were going to be a byword wherever we were scattered, an astonishment to the people. And what is a byword is a derogatory term for a person. All right, as you know, we are these true children of the sign. We're the nation of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Issachar, Naphtali, Zebulun, and Asher. But we're not called by these names in society. All right, we're called niggas. We're called wetbacks. We're called savages. We're called all type of derogatory terms. Okay. So that's part of a byword. Also, is another thing that says that we were going to bring in much. What says we're going to work much and bring in little. Someone else is going to eat our substance. It also said what? That we were going to go into the land of Egypt by ships, and then we were going to serve hardcore captivity in a sense. Okay, and that's just to name a few. It also said that what the woman was going to be out of order, and she wasn't going to. What it says the men were going to be soft. It says he that is tender among you, right, shall have an evil eye towards his brother. Why? Because most of the men of Israel were raised by a single mother, so we carried on those same type of attributes that our mother had. So this is all the things that Yahweh Shai said we were going to go to due to disobedience. Okay, and that's just to name a few. It's way more than that. Okay. Oh, one more thing, the ailments of the body. That's very prominent amongst Jake. You know, I listened to an old video by the elder Apostle Tahar. I believe it was one of the understanding of Genesis or Revelation. You know, just going through that and studying it. And you know, the Apostle Tahar, or at the elder Tahar at the time, but he's the apostle. You know, he mentioned, you know, you have a Jake walking down the street in a cane with a cane all bent over, and then you turn around and look and you see, damn, Jake is really like that. You know, he's not exaggerating because this is really what's going on, man. So this is what the benefits of our the fruits of our works, man.
This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 6. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath.
Right, we were not sold to the nations for our destruction. So what does that mean? Israel is still around. The Most High didn't completely destroy us as a nation, right? And there's many scriptures to back that up, where it says that if you can block out I forget how it goes with the sun and the moon.
Yeah.
You know, if that decree of the sun and the moon is done away with, then would the children of Israel be done away with? But here it is. We have the sun, we have the moon, we have all the signs in the skies. Okay, so the nation of Israel is still around, so we're not destroyed. Okay, we're not completely destroyed as wiped off of the earth. You read that again from at the destroyed part.
You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction,
not for our destruction,
but because you moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies.
We moved him to wrath because we started worshiping these idols. We started worshiping idols such as Baal Peor. All right, the Queen of Heaven. We start worshiping, and you know, there's many of them. Molech. You know. So the Most High, it says that what? And I did a lesson over this recently, how the Most High, Yahweh Shai, is a jealous power, man. Right? According to the book of Isaiah 42 and verse 8, he says that, let's get that real quick.
What's that? Isaiah 42.
Hold that Baruch. I still want to get the rest of that Baruch, but Isaiah 42 verse 8. You know? Because the Lord is a jealous power, and in this world, you have people that say that to be jealous is a female trait, which to be jealous is it's not a female trait. Because why would it say jealousy is the rage of a man? Okay? Why would the Lord say in multiple scriptures he is a jealous God? And we know that he is a man, and how do we prove that? Exodus 15:3. We don't have to get that, but it says that he's a man of war. So this same power that's a man of war is also a jealous power over his nation, his wife, his woman, Israel. Yeah, we'll get that Isaiah real quick and jump back to Baruch.
Isaiah chapter 42, verse 8. I am the Lord Yahweh. That is my name. And my glory will I not give to another.
And my glory will I not give to another. And what's part of that glory? Us praising and calling upon Yahweh Shai, us worshiping him and him only. We're his glory. The sweet savors that we put up in his name, that is his glory. Okay, the things that he does in his name for the nation of Israel, that is his glory. So the same nation of people on the sign that have been putting the Lord to the side, what you think is, how you think he gonna feel when we going up and committing adultery? And we men, we have women. How does that feel when you talking to your woman, you laying down the law, y'all talking? She said, pretty much, yeah, okay, I agree, y'all have a relationship, and then she goes off and commits adultery, going to sleep with another man. You're gonna feel some type of way. All right? You're gonna be full of rage, you're gonna be full of anger, full of indignation. That's how the Lord feels against the nation of Israel. So, like it says, going back into that book of Psalms, the 10th chapter, we can pull up Baruch. But we're going back into the book of Psalms 10 and 1. It seems like the Lord turned this place from us. Why? Because you tripping. We tripping. All right? We can get back into that, Baruch.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 6. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies.
Right, which is why we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Right? Go ahead.
For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High.
Yeah, worship and serve the creature more than the Creator. We start following every way under the sun except the Lord, man. All right? And the thing is, what made that even worse is when you go back during the times of Moses. When Moses was giving Jake the law, statutes, and commandments via through the Lord, what did Israel say? It said, all the things that you have said, let's get that. It says, all the things that you have said, we will obey. Okay? And forget exactly what that's at in Exodus. Exodus 24. So how do you expect the Lord to feel? And see, the thing is, what makes it so, I gotta find a word for it, but you have Israelites that'll stop believing in the Lord because of all the bad that's happening. Not going back to the drawing board as to say, why are we going through this? And then they'll hear a saying in the world when they say nothing comes from nothing, but when it comes to the Lord, nobody considers, well, damn, what did I do to deserve this? Why are we in this state?
This is Exodus chapter 24, and I'll start verse 5. It says, and you sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the blood, and he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all the Lord Yahweh had said will we do and be obedient.
Right, and that's what? Making a vow with the Lord. We agreed to this covenant.
It says, and Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord Yahweh had made with you concerning all these words. So this is a blood pact. That was us signing the contract at the bottom, the terms and conditions.
Yep.
And we couldn't go against it. And that's where we get in Deuteronomy 28. These are the terms and conditions for if you go against it.
Right. Exactly. And what did we do as a nation right after that? Right after making that vow? Right after making that agreement, like the brother said, a beautiful term. The covenant was the terms and conditions. And what we did, those of y'all that may have like game systems and things like that, when you got to scroll through all the terms and conditions and you got to check the acknowledge box at the bottom. That's what we did. We hit that
all the way to the bottom.
Just scroll, acknowledge, and don't and then just go about like you didn't even, because you didn't read it. You didn't acknowledge it for real. You just wanted to get through that because it's too much talking.
Yeah.
Let me just. But this is why we're in the state, because we didn't, as a nation, we did not adhere to the terms and conditions of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai being through the covenant that Moses read.
A few chapters after that, they was worshiping the golden calf.
You know?
But if I can make a point,
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that's why today the Lord has sent his prophets and his teachers out here to send the message out to the nation of Israel to repent and turn to Yahweh. We're putting the message out to repent because right now we're going through the history of why we got in the position we got into today. For what? Worshiping other gods, from turning away from the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments. So today we see our people and us before we came into this truth doing the same things. Worshiping Jesus Christ. Worshiping Allah within Islam, or celebrating all these different holidays that go back to pagan origins that have its roots in these different gods. We're coming out here to let our people know to repent because the same reasons why we got in this position today, we're still doing as a people. Now the elect are going to repent and turn back to the Lord, and that's who we're out here for, the elect. You know, but I just wanted to make that point.
No, it's a beautiful point. You know, and hey, and even on top of that, you know, Jake, people are worshipers of themselves also, leaning onto their own understanding. You know, just being lovers of themselves more than lovers of the Most High. You know, and that's in the scriptures. Where you have men that were going to be lovers of themselves more than the Most High, meaning that ultimately you're going to lean in the way that you feel is right for you, not the way that the Lord deems right for you. You know,
or leaning into black culture.
That's the same thing we was doing, like you mentioned. That's the same thing we was doing in the world.
Yeah.
You know, on a certain level, because if we wasn't worshiping Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we was trusting in our own path.
Yeah.
You know, and what was the book of Proverbs, the 3rd chapter and the 5th verse say? It says to trust in the Lord and lean out to our own understanding, but we were doing that. And that way led us into led us into a path of destruction, man. A path of judgment. A path of curses. Unless there's more to that precept you brought.
No, that's it.
The Baruch. No, those are to the Baruch.
Is finished. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll go back to that song.
All right. This is back in Psalm chapter 10 and verse 1. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble?
Right.
The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor.
The wicked. Who is the wicked? The wicked. That's Esau, Edom. Okay? And that wicked, when you go into that Hebrew word, it goes into the Hebrew word rashai, which means a criminal, one guilty of a crime. And need we name all the crimes of Esau, Edom that he's done against? For one, we did mention it earlier. He touched the apple of the Lord's eye, be it through that hardcore captivity. All right? And it says that what? And someone in Zechariah or Zephaniah, we don't have to get it, just thinking about it. It says that the Lord, matter of fact, we will get it. It says the Lord was angry with us. And he furthered the affliction. All right? And just real quick, because it speaks for itself. Right? What's another thing? Was that Isaiah 34:16, changing everything upside down? All right? The law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord ordained to be good and to be beneficial towards life has been turned into a decrepit thing now. Where you got women that could, just gad abroad, half naked up and down the streets. Right? Got a whole husband at home. Walking up and down the streets with what we used to call them hoochie mamas, coochie cutters, ooh babies. Ooh babies, them little, that cut off right at the, at the crotch. And you got a whole man at home. All right? Putting all these different type of foods that you can eat. There's no specific line of food within a dietary law that you have to adhere to. You can do it, eat it. Like the brothers was mentioning the other day, Alistair Crowley, do as thou wilt, a spirit has been put into the earth. Okay?
This is Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 15. and I am very sore displeased.
And our captivity is about to be turned around, by the way. It's just that we're suffering and going through it right now because of the rulers that be.
Can I grab a piece of fast to back that up?
Yeah.
Second Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9, which says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
Right. Esau, the so-called white man, this is his world. Okay? The book of Lamentations tells Esau, it says to rejoice and be glad. Why? Because you're in your kingdom. You know, you hear individuals say in the world, the white man's heaven is the so-called black man's hell. Because this ain't our kingdom. We're not flourishing. We don't have the wealth. We don't have power. We don't have authority. All we have now, what we do have, the power that we do have are the scriptures. Okay? But physical power right now, we don't have any of that. Esau Edom has that. He controls, you know, you got fucking stoplights. You know, you gotta go get you gotta go to the DMV, get you a register, get an ID or get a driver's license.
You want to go out the country, you got to get a passport.
You got to get a passport or, you got to get a passport. In our kingdom, we're going to have liberty to do as we will. The thing is, we're going to do everything in righteousness. That's the difference between our kingdom and Esau's kingdom. Okay? Well, yeah, you can finish that, brother.
Zechariah chapter 1, verse 15.
Oh, wait, no, back in the second Ezra, because it says, Esau, you don't have to get it. It says Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, all right, whose name was changed, later changed to Israel, is the beginning of it that followeth. And according to many scriptures, Luke, the first chapter, 33rd verse, what is that, Isaiah, I believe it's 54, either 54 or 64, where it says the world without end, okay? That proved that kingdom that's to come, Jacob's kingdom, is going to be forever. This kingdom ain't did nothing but destroyed. Esau destroyed the earth under his rulership. Was that Revelation 18 and 11? The Lord said he's going to destroy them that destroy the earth. All right? When the earth is put back in the hands of the righteous king, being Yahweh Shai, okay, the earth is going to be replenished. It's going to be restored. It's going to be back in health. This is why we look forward and hasten unto the coming of the day of Yahweh Shai, man. And this is the same word that we're pushing out to our people to make our people aware of what's going on and what's to come. All right? But we can get back into that, finish that Zechariah. Did you have something?
I'm holding some, but it can come out after the Zechariah. We'll swing back around to it out there. Come. Zechariah chapter 1, verse 15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease.
Right, the heathen. These are actual heathen, all right? Non-Israelite nations. Starting with Esau Edom. We say that because he's the number one enemy of the Lord. According to the book of Psalms, was that the Confederacy? Esau was number one on that list. So this is the heathen that it's talking about. Go ahead.
For I was but a little displeased, and they hoped for the affliction.
Yeah, he was a little displeased with who? His people. Why? Because we was transgressing. We was following different ways, and once again, he's a jealous power. He said, do this right here. Here, this is the book of the law. Here, this is for you. Only for you, because I ain't dealing with nobody else. This is for you. Oh, you want to go to the left and the right? Oh, fuck. I got to do something to y'all. Which is that being a little displeased. That's where judgment came from. That's where the chastisements came from. But it says that what did Esau Edom do? He forwarded the affliction. He went overboard, man. All right, when you have, and this is something I seen recently, and I gotta find this clip again, where it was there was an Israelite woman, and I assume she was a Judite just based off the way the picture looked. You know, I could be wrong, but nonetheless, she was an Israelite, surrounded by a myriad of Edomites. And there's a caption that said that what they used to do in certain, at this point in time, they used to cut the woman open to perform a C-section without any anesthesia. They would cut her open over 30 times just to practice on C-sections. No anesthesia. She wasn't even pregnant. Is that not overdoing it? The women that were pregnant, slicing open their wombs and taking the fetus out and destroying it, man. Is that not overdoing it? This is what Esau Edom has done, right? And in this day and age, this is why you have, we're not even mad enough. Because the book of Ezekiel, the 25th chapter, says that the Lord is going to have to put his anger on us. But imagine if this vexes our spirit to the point of, spiritually want to crash out. How do you think the Lord feels, man? He got to put his anger on us to be able to carry out his judgment. And we don't know, and the thing is, we don't even know every single thing that he's done. We just we know just enough to be like, this dude is the devil for real, man. You got niggas, so mainly the nigga woman, fucking going to bat for this devil, man. There's a video I seen the other day where you had this a so-called JOO, right? He got confronted by some Jakes. He had a bunch of pictures of little young girls in his phone. I'm talking about in his phone of little girls, man. And Jake was about to do something to him, and they said, matter of fact, just get out of here. And as he was getting out and Jake was on his tail, you had a nigga woman, oh, no, what's going on? Going to bat for this motherfucker, man. Excuse my French. So that's why 2/3 of our people, especially the ones that are defending Esau Edom, you have to pay for that, man. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished, man. And we're telling our people to hell with him, man. To hell with Esau Edom. His rap sheet it says in the Apocrypha. It says that his iniquities have reached to heaven, man. Why are we defending someone whose iniquities reach to heaven?
Yeah, that's why in Revelation chapter 18, it says, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins. Because this place is polluted, and it just like caked up within the sins and all the wickedness that Esau has committed. Yeah. And you're gonna have some of our people who don't want to come out of this place when it's time, that don't want to be saved out of this place when it's time. So they're gonna be caught up with the judgment that's slated for it. Yeah. Oh, I had a precept there. This is Malachi chapter 1 verse 4, which says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh had indignation forever.
It says he's the border of wickedness, man. Like when you look, and we're gonna run into it, Lord willing, in the book of Psalms, the 10th chapter. This is the border of wickedness. Anything that correlates with anything wicked, more activity, fake foods, cancerous foods, godlessness at an all-time high. All this, if you walk into the tabernacles of Edom, ain't nothing in there holy. And even tells us that it tells us in the book of Psalms a couple of times. He said he has searched through the heathen, and he said there's not one good, merely paraphrasing. Because it's not in his heart to do good. Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, says that he hoped not for the wages of righteousness, man. So there's nothing that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, does that's good. You name one thing that he does is good. What, give you food stamps? Oh, they taking that away. Medicare? Oh, they taking that away too. What else he got? Nothing. All the foods that we go in the store and buy, a high percentage, 90% of that stuff is poisonous. And it's slowly killing us on a daily. What has Esau done that's good? Oh, look at another thing. Look at the pollution. The air, the education, the oceans. Wildlife is polluted. But this is the same individual our people are supporting and backing up. To say candidly, fuck Esau, Edom, man. And we can't wait for that judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahushua to come down on, which it is coming. Go ahead. What you have, brother?
Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So just speaking, that's talking about Esau. It says the soul which is lifted up in him is not upright. There is no righteousness in him. The Lord created Esau to be an evil people. The Lord created Esau to be the wicked. So the thoughts that they have, the way that they carry themselves, the beliefs that they perpetuate into the earth is going to be nothing but evil and wickedness, because that's just how the Lord wrote him to be.
Yeah. That's a beautiful point. That's a beautiful point, because it says, well, let's get that in, what's that, Romans 9? Vessels unto honor. Right? Because the Most High, he created every nation of people to serve their particular purpose. Right? And as we're speaking on Esau, Edom, and that's a beautiful precept that the brother brought out, Esau was not created to be a holy and upright individual. The spirit which is lifted up in him is not aright, which means it's not in alignment with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Neither nor can it be. Just because of that, this is how he's been engineered, man. Right? We've been engineered as a nation of Israel to be a holy people. It says, well, I created a holy and upright people. We sought out many inventions. That's saying, what? Israel, I created you to be nigh unto me. Esau, Edom wasn't. You got that?
Romans chapter 9, verse 21. Hath not the potter power over the clay?
Right. Have not the potter. Who is the potter? The Heavenly Father, Yahweh. All right? The almighty power who created everything and everyone that you see in every dimension that you could think of. Right? The Lord created all this. Go ahead.
Of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor.
What was that lump? Was that lump not Adam? Because it says in the Apocrypha that all men were, all those that come of Adam, even those whom the Lord has chosen, that's that same lump the Lord made. But according to the book of Sirach, the 33rd chapter, there was a separation. Okay? He separated the holy from the unholy. And that's what we're speaking on now. Go ahead.
What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction?
The vessels of wrath that are fitted to destruction. Let's get Psalm 79. Right? It says that I just want to read that again. I gotta find this precept.
Want me to read that Romans again?
Yeah, that last part. Okay, I gotta put this precept. Okay, I got you. Yeah, you go ahead whenever you got it. Okay.
Romans 9 and 22. What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction?
Okay. It speaks of, I'm trying to find it, where it speaks about in the book of Psalms, 79th chapter. It says those that are preserved for death or something to that manner. I might be wording it wrong. But those that were preserved unto that damnation is Esau, Edom, and Proverbs 16:4 proves that. Where it says that the Most High have made all things for his purpose, even the wicked for the day of destruction.
That's not what you was looking for, though?
No. Psalm 79 verse 11. Biblical shot.
Psalm chapter 79 verse 11. Let the sighing of the prisoner come before thee.
Hold on. Matter of fact, let's go up to 10.
Psalm chapter 79 verse 10. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is their power? Let him be known among the heathen in our sight, by the revenging of the blood of thy servants which is shed.
Read that again. It says, let him be known amongst the heathen which are in thy sight. Read that again.
Wherefore should the heathen say, where is their power?
Yeah, and this is how Esau, Edom, when Jacob is sighing and crying, when we're going through troubles and going through tribulation, even if you're not, you don't know you're Israelite, our people still have a zeal, but not according to knowledge, right? So when Jacob's going through it, what are they doing? They're crying unto the Lord, man. All right? So this is why Esau Edom, he's like, man, read that again.
Wherefore should the heathen say, where is their power?
Where your God at? Where's your power? This is the mindset of Esau Edom. Where's your God? Where's your power? Right? Where's your refuge? Go ahead.
Let him be known among the heathen in our sight.
And the Most High is about to make himself known amongst these heathen. This is a prayer. He said, let thyself be known in the midst of the heathens, man. Because there's going to be certain things that the Lord is going to do to prove his strength, to prove his existence, man. And it's going to come through judgment. Go ahead.
Let him be known among the heathen in our sight by the revenging of the blood of thy servants which is shed.
And it says in our sight. So we're going to see. We're going to behold these heathens, Esau, Edom, and the rest of these heathen nations being judged. The Most High, the Most High is going to make himself known amongst the heathen. We're going to be able to see it, man. You know how joyful and terrifying that's going to be? Because the Most High could judge whoever the hell he wants. But in this case, he's going to judge the heathens, man. Go ahead.
Let the sighing of the prisoner come before thee.
We sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right? We see the vexation of our people. We see Israel at an all-time low morality-wise. Right? It says that in Ecclesiastes that we see servants upon horses and princes walking upon the earth. It's a vexation within Israel right now, man. It's a heavy spirit of mourning within Israel right now. Go ahead.
Let the sighing of the prisoner come before thee.
And we are prisoners, man. We are those prisoners. Twofold prisoners. For one, we're prisoners of the Lord. You know, it was, I believe, Apostle Paul coined that phrase, the prisoners of hope. But we're also prisoners in the sense that we're in a captivity right now. We don't have our power directly above us right now. And our power comes through the law, statutes, and commandments, which, according to Baruch, the fourth chapter and the first verse, is life. We don't have that right now. So we're twofold prisoners right now.
It says, let the sign of the prisoner come before thee, according to the greatness of thy power. Yep. Preserve thou those that are appointed to die.
Now we can get that Proverbs 16:4, because it says, preserve thou those who are appointed to die. Now, as we read that down, it spoke of the heathen. It spoke of how the heathen is dealing with Israel. Okay, it spoke about how the prisoner, being the Israelites, are sighing and crying because of the vexation that's come upon us. And then it says right after that, preserve thou those that are appointed to die. All right?
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. The Lord Yahweh hath made all things for himself.
All things are for the Lord. The Lord makes things at his pleasure, at his discretion, and however he wants to do it, that's that. Okay?
Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
Yea, even the Rashai, the wicked, the criminal, the guilty one, for the day of punishment. And your day of punishment is coming. Right? And you know it's coming. This is why would Revelation 12:12 be written? Because it says what? That he coming down with great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time. You know, when you go into the Project 2025, a part of that, they had a 180-day playbook plan to fulfill certain things in the Constitution, which included kicking out the immigrants, okay, which included cutting health benefits such as Medicare, all right, the ICE situation, amongst many things. And guess what? They've been performing at an all-time high because their time is short, man. We go back to the Romans, finish that, and then if there's no more after that, we'll come back to Psalms.
I keep on dropping the Romans, so I get Romans 9. This is Romans chapter 9, verse 22. What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction?
Endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath. And what does that mean? To watch these heathens, these decrepit nation of people rule. Second Ezra, the third chapter. I think I always get them confused. It's the third or the sixth chapter where it says, "Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion?" Because it says, "How thou sufferest evildoers and punisheth his own people." Roughly paraphrasing. This is the same thing. It says the Most High. What if the Most High willing to endure the vessels of wrath fit to destruction? And we just went into the vessel of destruction, or so the Most High is allowing Esau, Edom, to be the wicked of the earth, to fulfill that Job 9:24. You go ahead.
And that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory.
Yeah, who's before? Read that again, Bible shot.
And that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory.
Those vessels of mercy are the Israelites, man. These, and with that mercy is very close knit to favor. Favor is very close knit to grace. Grace is given unto the Israelites, right? These are the vessels that are fitted unto glory, man. These are the vessels unto honor. Okay, you go ahead.
That's it.
That was it. So let's get back to songs. I thought it was more to it.
It's like one more verse, but it's
that's good. That's good, brother. Go back to songs.
Psalm chapter 10 and verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be
the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. And that pride comes from him being in authority. He thinks that he thinks he has his authority on his own. All right, and we're going to get into it to prove that point, because it says that he looked not to the Lord, right? And how does he persecute the poor? He put us in the slums, all right? We have the we have the highest insurance, and we have the lowest paying jobs for the most part. We're the last hired and the first fired at our jobs. We're discriminated against the hardest, right? We're a people that's heavily, mainly as far as our women, they're heavily dependent on government benefits, right? Esau, Edom is on them too, so I'm not counting him out. But mainly it's our people that gets the backlash of, they're on government assistance. They're on this and they're on that, right? So that goes with that ridicule that we receive. And Esau's he's doing certain things like this because he think he got the power for real. But according to the book of Proverbs 21, the Most High gave him that power, man. You continue on.
The wicked
and the poor, to clarify, is the Israelites. All right, these people on the sign, and so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the poor. All right, it says that we are the poor, the widows, the fatherless. All right, because our power is not showing us, collectively, not showing us favor because of our transgressions.
This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless.
Yeah, beautiful, because it says what it says right before it says the widows and the poor. It says they take away the rights of my people, which is a possessive term. That's talking about the nation of Israel. All right. Once again, going back to Isaiah 44 and verse 1, it says that Israel is his servant and his chosen. All right, and this is we received the ridicule, but guess what? Like we mentioned earlier, that we received it justly through our disobedience, man, through not keeping that covenant that was made by blood, to obey all the words that were given to us through Moses from the Heavenly Father. Okay, but this is what we got to suffer now. The time is coming to an end, but we gonna go through it. Every single last Israelite upon the earth. We gonna go through some shit, man. And we ain't gonna be able to do nothing until the Lord come. It says that we gotta wait until the Lord till He rise up to the prey. We just gotta suffer until the Lord comes back and revenges the enemies, man, or gets the enemies out of the earth.
Back in Psalm chapter 10, verse 2, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasted of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous whom the Lord Yahweh hath poured.
And that's why every time you look, you see Jake trying to be like Esau, Edom, because Esau got the wealth, he got the money, he got the nice little villa sitting off somewhere on a abandoned island somewhere with beautiful blue waters. He got your dream car, your dream woman. He got all the things that you want. Read that last part again.
For the wicked boasted of his heart's desire.
And he put it in front of our face every day. Look what I got. You ain't gonna get it. You gotta work hard. You gotta get you another job. You gotta go to college for 4 years. You gotta go get this degree. You gotta go through all these loopholes to get where I'm at. Oh, you can't? Oh, well, try harder.
And then, hey, the funny thing about it is they don't do all of the stuff that they say that we have to do to get it. You know, they get it by certain write-offs and certain benefits and find the loopholes within their own system. You know, that's why the scriptures say, envy not the wicked. All right? To hell with whatever they got. I mean, yeah, they got some nice stuff. I ain't gonna lie, man. I rode out on the street in Regency the other day. I'm like, God, like, it's some houses out there. And that's just in this city. They ain't talking about like no big city, you know, so let alone what else is there. But nonetheless, man, we got the real riches, man. We got this truth. We got this knowledge, you know. They had what they had for a season. What we're gonna get from the Lord is gonna be for eternity, man. You know, and that's why it's in our people's best interest, all right, to let them have their fun right now. I remember years ago when the apostles, you know, when they was out there, and you know, a lot of Edomites would come up to the camp, and they be like, well, if I can't be saved, what should go max your credit cards out, go on vacations, go, you know, that's pretty much what you might as well do, you know. Hey, it might be some of them that's probably like, well, I'm glad I didn't do that, because they looking at it like they here 10 plus years later. All right, but hey, you through the spirit, we see this place crumbling, man. All right, stores constantly closing, restaurants is closing. Okay, the cost of living constantly going up. Now you have it to where, you know, DJ T is up in there and he handling business by way of prophecy, man. Okay, he's passing laws and putting moral pressure on the poor and helping the wealthy even more. Now he's sending federalized troops in a place where crime has gone down in the last 10 years. But it's just an idea when you put a face to it. Okay?
Yeah, the scriptures tell you, told Eda, like, hey, you know, caress your children. You know, spend time with your kids because it's really over with for you. You know, I'm looking for, I get it mixed up with the song, Race It, or St. Ezra the 15th early on. But I did want to get this precept real quick in reference to us and what we're going through. It says, Revelations 2:9, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. The rich what? Knowledge of the gospel, the Holy Spirit. And I know the blasphemy of them that which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan. Okay, so yeah, we're dead in this world compared to the economic riches and the fatness of the earth, but ultimately we're rich in this truth and knowledge. And the truth is going to lead us to the kingdom of heaven, man, which is going to be here on earth. Okay, because heaven is it doesn't have to be the celestial area; it's also on earth. All right. Same way as hell. Like you say, I'm going through hell. or this place is hell. All right.
I got a pre-shot. So, Lamentation chapter 4, verse 21. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked."
Yeah, and that cup is from the Lord, man. The affliction, the atrocities, the becoming from, more so us becoming a people to no people, man. Well, that's what's going to happen to Esau, because they're going to look. Remember, is this the man that did his shake is the kingdom? They're going to look at him like, man, this dude was really running it. But just like that, in an hour, everything he have is going to be done away with, man. All his dominion, all his power. And then the ones that survive, I'm pretty sure they're going to be down in them bunkers or them underwater cities or whatever. Like, all right, hey, look, this is all we got to do. We just got to come back. And it's going to be a whole new world, man. Because these people on the side, all right, being led by Yahushua is going to be in rulership. Okay? Wickedness already had its part. You did what you had to do. Now it's time for righteousness to flourish. There's no need for you. You was needed to be the sword of the Heavenly Father, all right, to be a whooping stick unto us, but there's no need for you now that he's correcting us in front of your eyes, as it says in Psalms, man. And that's what got you scared. That's what got you nervous.
Psalm chapter 10 and verse 4, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts.
Yeah, and this is why society is in utter chaos, because it's not established upon the law, statutes, and commandments which bring forth life. There's not a Sabbath where Esau, Edom was shut down. Hey, look, hey, it's new moon, y'all. We shouldn't. Ain't none of that in the earth, right? You got everything. You got more activity. You got everybody eating all types of nasty ass foods, fucking pork and octopus and snail antlers. People are eating all type of things in the earth because Esau, Edom, he gives, once again, the Alistair Crowley, do as thou wilt spirit is in the earth, right? Baruch 4:1 says, keep the law, this is the book of the life and the commandments of the Lord. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. This society is dying because of wickedness, man. It's not nothing's flourishing here except wickedness. Righteousness is not being uplifted. The names are not being put on a pedestal. The names of Yahweh and Yahushai not being put on a pedestal. This is not a monotheistic place of worship. You can worship any god you want to worship. This is not a godly place, man. Because Esau, Edom, once again, through the pride of his countenance, he persecuted the poor and also does what he wants to do. He fulfills his will. And we're seeing it in real time. And you have the prophets throughout the four corners of the earth chanting them same works down. 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, that's why 2 Peter, 3rd chapter says that all the works in this earth will be burned up. Because nothing is flourishing in righteousness, man. That's why, we're hastening for this place to burn, man.
It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yeah, how was this land accumulated? I mean, not accumulated. How was this land established? It was established upon bloodshed. That's proven in the book of Nahum, the 2nd chapter. It says that builder established the city with blood. You came over here slaughtering the Native American Indians, man, who came over on this side of the earth to do their own thing and worship the Lord. They was getting away from from evil, man. But here it is, so-called Christopher Columbus came over here, so-called discovered America, when he really just came over here to slaughter individuals. He didn't come over here for peace. He didn't come over here to establish law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord.
Well, to be specific, Christopher Columbus never landed on America. Landed in on the isles that's they call Haiti. Okay, it's crazy because I was just researching that. You know what I'm saying? Because Haiti goes back to the Taino word, saying the land of two mountains. Okay, and Columbus came over to those isles, which is Haiti, and Jake they pretty much killed off the bulk of the Taino Indians, which are the Puerto Ricans as of today. All right, because the scriptures say that we should be called bywords. All right, to call us a Puerto Rican Indians, because the whole term Indian came from Christopher Columbus trying to get a easier route to East India. Okay, the people with the dots on their head, not the so-called dots, they got dots on their head. All right, and they try to brand name us. All right, just like the word black. You know what I'm saying? The word black goes back to darkness, void of light, wisdom, and white has its connotation, and that comes from Darwinism. Okay, so there's a lot of lies that has been smeared over the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like gold-plated jewelry, man. All right, that's what Esau has done. So yeah, I just wanted to say that because, like I said, Christopher Columbus did not come to America. All right, there's a whole rap sheet, you know, because we speak on Esau just destroying the natives, but it's like why and how? That's where the true evil of him come. Because everybody goes. We went over in Jordan and tore down the walls. We went over there in land of Canaan, land of Philistines, and pushed them out. All right, and fought against them. That's regular. War is regular when you meet up on somebody, but it wasn't like that. All right, that's the thing. When you get into this historical track record of Edom, you're gonna realize how much of a whole ass nigga he is. Okay, you come to the Americas. Okay, let's get that where the scriptures say he that stealeth a man, because there's violations. Okay, now you could go to war and then you conquer somebody and then you take the residue. That's not the same as you stealing somebody. All right, throwing something over their face so they pass out. They wake up on a barge and shit. You stole somebody instead of just walking up to their face like a man and going to war. All right, and they're taking what's remaining. All right.
It's Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
So that's a law right there. All right. They stole us. They said they stole Africans from Africans. That's not true. All right. Those people in Africa knew that they were selling Israelites, knew that they were setting Israelites up to be sold. All right. Because what happened was, when you go into the history, is that I believe it was Hispaniola, between Portugal and Hispaniola, they was having a big battle. And there was like this line that they created to where the line to the left was one kingdom that owned it, which is some bullshit. All right. How the hell are you going to draw a line in the middle of the earth and say that you own everything that's, you know what I'm saying? And they did that thinking that, well, ain't nothing over there but sea monsters that kill people. You know what I'm saying? And then, long story short, whether it was Jake or Ham, I believe it was Jake that showed Esau. More than likely it was Jake, because just like the brother said, the 10 tribes of Gad, Reuben, the northern kingdom. All right, Gad, Reuben, Simeon, Naphtali, the 10 tribes, let's get that, had departed and came over here via the Assyrian captivity. All right, the Assyrian captivity, and people, the Assyrian captivity was a captivity. When you go into captivity, you got to become subservient unto that rulership, i.e., their culture, their laws. Just like in this land, in order to flourish in this land, you got to bend the knee to the government. You may not think you're bending the knee to Nebuchadnezzar or bending the knee to Molech, but in a roundabout way, you're bending the knee to democracy. All right? Because if you get out here and publicly speak out against democracy in America, people will start hating you for it. Now, we're not in a rulership such as Nebuchadnezzar where it's like China, that if you speak out against the ruler, then something will happen to you. All right? But we're headed to that direction. As you can see, there's a police state in Washington, D.C. Okay? There's actual army and troops walking around doing wellness checks on the community, aka hacking their ass up, military style. So we're headed in that direction. All right? That's why they're trying to attack our words and trying to come out with Rex 84. All right? The ability to call the U.S. citizen a domestic terrorist. Okay? They setting all the pieces up. So once they enact that law, all the pieces, there's no loopholes that you can run to. Okay? So getting back to them coming over here, Jake pretty much showed them how to get from Europe down to the southern parts of Africa, because they didn't know how to travel down that channel on the west side of Africa to be able to travel those waters, because those waters was real trouble. Because once you go to that area, that's very near to the what's the South Pole or whatever, and the equator, or where the most heat at. And when you mix hot and cold weather up, that creates storms. Okay, and that's what created those troubled waters in South Africa, in the area of the South African seas. You know what I'm saying? And those waters were real rough. To this very day, they're real rough. Ships don't just pass through that area, which is why today, that's why they're trying to go over there and attack the Gaza Strip. Okay? There's a lot of evil that is more than just punching somebody in the face so they die. There's evils of them. But I'm gonna get to it. I need to give me one of them hoes. But getting to the point, they pretty much found out a way to get from north down to south. And then when they was able to get from Europe down to the south, southern parts of Africa, and travel along that coast, because of what it was some big ass sails. They had them big ass sails. The Portuguese has those huge sails, and you're going into troubled waters. That shit gonna take your ass somewhere like a kite, man. And Ham showed them how to slim the sails up. You know what I'm saying? It was more slim triangular sails that allowed them to travel those troubled waters a little bit better. And they used that technology to then get down to the southern parts of Africa, and then they was able to what's this motherfucking name? Let's get that Henry the Navigator. Okay? Henry the Navigator. Let's get an AI overview of that. Henry the Navigator, which is bullshit. He wasn't a navigator. He pretty much had, a slew of people, all right, that was able to travel back and forth, you know what I'm saying, to different lands. Because once they found out how to get over here, for real, which Columbus ended up finding out, but it was other people that found out before them, because the Dutch came over here first. I forgot who else came over here, but I believe the Dutch was the first to come over here, and they landed in Virginia. All right, that's why they say we ain't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. That was the area that they kept landing at. They weren't landing in New York. All right, really, it was really Florida, and then they swung up. Okay, so y'all got that precept when the Northern Kingdom. Get that real quick.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 40. It said, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
Because we always speak on the statue of Nebuchadnezzar, and that statue always starts off with Babylon. All right, but before Babylon, there was the Assyrian Empire. All right, and I mention that because that often will get skipped over because of that, prophetically. And ain't nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wicked or anything, but I'm just saying that the Assyrian Empire had a part to play with the Israelites, and the Assyrian Empire was the first people to go to war with metal, all right, and iron, and they were very cruel, all right, and most importantly, they were the first. They were known for relocating countries to a different country. That's who really popularized it. And what happened was every time a country gets over another country and gets over another country, they take a bit of their tactics. And so Babylon took a bit of those tactics because they was getting relocated too. All right, they was getting their ass whooped and relocated, and the Chaldeans then came up, and they was the ones to take over the Assyrian Empire. All right, and the Chaldeans were known for let's get that. They was known for it says go to the Chaldeans, to the monthly prognosticators, the astrologers. But let's finish that up real quick.
It says, but they took this counsel among themselves that they will leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Yeah, so that's where they went into the the Persian Gulf, okay? And the Lord calmed the seas in the South African area, in that region where the seas were troubled, and He allowed them to pass through and get over to the South Americas. They didn't cross no isthmus that Esau's trying to tell you like it's a fucking like it's 28 years later, the low tide, and there's a bridge when the low tide comes and it's low enough for you to cross. That's how Esau tried to tell us that dinosaurs and like these niggas crossed a narrow bridge. An 18-wheeler could barely go across bridges. How the fuck and animals, ain't no fucking one elephant just gonna stroll across and then he make it, and then he gonna watch the other elephant and he could, them motherfuckers traveling herds, man. Let them know, How do we know? Yeah. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Because how do we know that? We seen that shit that's going on in Yellowstone where all the animals is traveling in packs, and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They know one thing they know by instinct is to get the fuck away. Nature's telling them that something's about to happen. Okay? So that isthmus shit is bullshit. Okay? Because they want to attach you to their theory of the ice age, and the ice melted, and when the ice melted, or when the ice was there, the isthmus was there, so they was able to. No, that's bullshit, man. All right? That's why Asians, because they're closer to the sun, and white people are white because they were going in the cold. But these niggas been in South Africa and ain't getting no darker. All right? Edom has been in the Middle East since the beginning of time. Because all man comes from the Middle East. All right? That's bullshit. But long story short, through the Portuguese and the Spaniards, they found out how to get to this side of the Americas. All right? And the crazy thing is that that's not a foreign technology, because King Solomon also had that technology. All right? So let's get that, and we're gonna get all this, man. All right?
Says that they might there keep their statues, which they never kept in their own land, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High did shew signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Yeah, He held still those waters because those are troubled waters, man. You go and watch those. Go and watch some ocean storms and watch ships. There's ships that literally are engineered to tip forward in a vicious way to where it directly points down like a needle, and the ship is built to turn like that to deal with those waves, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit'll tear you up, okay? Because You can't, that way take your ass about vert, you're always gonna flip backwards, man. You know, so the Lord had to calm those seas. Okay, that's where I believe that's where Point Nemo is, around that area, where they say that a fucking astronaut or a satellite out of space is closer to land than somebody at Point Nemo. It'll take you 2 weeks just to get to a person by boat. Okay, that's how far you are away from everything. All right.
It says, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsaret.
Yep, Arsaret. So that's the land of the Americas. All right. So it wasn't no isthmus. Just gotta open your book up and do your research, man. All right. Jake came over here via boat. Okay, Esau never did it. So all of a sudden it ain't fucking possible now? Get the fuck out of here. No, Jake been doing things. There's a lot of countries that have been doing things that Esau wasn't able to do. All right, during the Renaissance period, you can read that they lost the ability to make domes. Okay, they lost that technology and re-got it during the Renaissance because they seen other people making domes, and I think it was Michelangelo, Leonardo, one of them, that was constantly trying to do it, and that's why that chapel was built like that so they can work on domes. And that's at first they did they found out how to build it through a moonlight setting to where they left the circle open and let it collapse on itself. But then eventually they found out how to seal the dome completely off. All right. But the point is, just like Egypt, pyramids, that dome, electricity, how the Tesla technology, they starting to find out that Egypt had those rods pointing in the ground, certain Jake, not Jake, only Jake, but Edom, because the thing is, when you go into the Josephus, it'll tell you that Abraham taught the Egyptians arithmetic, okay? So it wasn't like, then you go into the hieroglyphs. The hieroglyphs, that ain't nothing, that's the same thing as the pictographs in Phoenician Hebrew. Just because you have a first recorded country that you can find, hell, the Assyrians more than likely had hieroglyphs. Their language is wrote a little bit different though. Okay, Nimrod, you don't have no things of ancient Babylon during Nimrod to see how they're. So you only could go as far as back as the land allows, man. All right, but people are superficial, so when they find something, they say this has to be the origin of everything. Don't be silly. That's why you got to go off the Lord's words, because you really don't know. Okay? That should be it to that, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I got a precept. It says, 1 Kings 10:21. And all King Solomon's drinking vessels were of gold, and all the vessels of the house of the forest of Lebanon were of pure gold. None were of silver. It was nothing accounted of in the days of Solomon. For the king had at sea a navy of Tarshish with the navy of Hiram. Once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish, bringing gold and silver, ivory and apes and peacocks.
1.5 plus 1.5 equals 3. Once in every 3 years. That's a to and a fro. You're going to America, 1.5 years, come back. That's 1.5 years. All right. So all that technology is already had. Okay, and it gets lost between nations. Okay. So Edom trying to tell you that he found something out. He discovered something. He just found out something that was already being done. And for real, it was Columbus was led, right? At St. Elmo's fire. That was a chariot. But then you got Ponce de Leon. You got another guy before that, who came with got this guy's name, man. But he was a great explorer, and they'll tell you that this dude that came over, I forget, it was a Jake, by the way, but he like escaped and became a part of the Spaniard or French, I forget the country, but whoever came over here, he became a part of them and was helping them guide. And when they came over here talking to Gad, because he had French background, he was able to talk different languages, and it said he also was able to communicate with the Gadites. All right, and we know that Gadites are Israelites they were speaking Hebrew. At a point, it became broken. All right, but you know, you could tell, you can assume that later, you know, in the 1500s and all that, they were more closely related in language. You know what I'm saying? Just like Portuguese and Spanish. All right, just like Latin and Spanish. All right.
What is Squanto, was it?
The Squanto.
His name? Is that his name?
Could be. You know what I'm saying? But they use these guys, and these guys was helping these dudes. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, like Ponce de Leon and all them, that's who discovered Florida and Brazil, which Florida means flowers. The nigga didn't even know he was discovering something that, not even this, he knew he was discovering something because it wasn't like they came over here to find India. They came over here specifically to set up companies, all right, to find new products, new land. Land was a big thing because the Vatican pretty much was running everything. How did the Vatican get so much power? All right, asking y'all brothers, why was the Vatican, you know, historically, what happened before all this, you know, exploring? Let me run over to the Americas. Let me run over to here. Why did they have to always get approved by the Vatican? How did they get so much power? Anybody can take a wild guess?
Religion.
Nah, the Crusades. Okay. Right? The Crusades during what? The Dark Ages. They was running through, taking gold, taking artifacts, taking... What you think was in those artifacts, man? The fucking did y'all find that Henry the Navigator? You know what I'm saying? They found those artifacts and all that, like Captain Jack. I found a map. Maps was fucking important back then, man. All right, we got Google, so it's not a big deal to us, you know. But maps are important. Shit, try to take your ass somewhere and just wing it. Go try to go from here to Florida, from Nebraska to Florida, and just wing it. No, you're gonna need a map. All right, so maps of the known world was immensely important, man. Okay, especially when you had a whole fucking continent that's rumored. Oh man, the treasures, all these movies, the treasure, there's a treasure. No, motherfuckers trying to come to America, man. Okay, you go ahead. You got an overview on them?
Yeah. It says Prince Henry of Portugal, known as Henry the Navigator, was a central figure in the early age of exploration.
You see, Prince Henry of Portugal. All right, go ahead.
Born in Porto, the third surviving son of King John I and Philippa of Lancaster, he earned his nickname through his patronage of maritime exploration, though he rarely sailed himself.
Exactly. He was that nigga went through Cyprus and swung around to go get some groceries. When they say that he rarely sailed, he wasn't out there, like he wasn't traveling them dangerous seas and trying to figure shit out. You had niggas like Ponce de Leon, other niggas that were accompanied with Jake that actually knew how to get back and forth over here, just like any other shit. Just like when they came over here and they was trying to catch Jake, they was using Gad to go and get Jake. Or they was using Jake to go and set up Gad. All right, Esau always played the middleman and shit. But long story short, they pretty much came over here off of King Solomon's records. Okay, those are records. They went in all them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't. Okay, who took down Israel? All right, that was Rome. All right, that completely obliterated in 90 AD, destroyed the temple, okay, through Titus and what's your, not specifically Titus, but what's your boy name? Starts with an A. Antigonus or something like that. Antipater, not Antipater, but Antigonus, and the other dude that was Tiberius Alexander. Okay, both of them came over. And then, you know, pretty much Caesars was in succession. I think it's like a 2 process. And then eventually they, you know, throughout all that, once they took it over, old boy went back and actually became emperor. Because he wasn't actually emperor. All right. But he eventually became emperor. And they became emperors through feats. That's why even in today's presidencies, they try to show you that, oh, I got Osama bin Laden. I did this. Or that's why they get up on the podium, and that's how they get their spots to tell you about their feats. All right, you know. So pretty much, you know, when they went over there, Rome had all those goods. All right, Rome had all those goods. And so you get up to this time, not even up to this time, but Rome got the goods and all that, and through the Dark Ages, the Vatican was approving. Yeah, you can go over there in the name of God. You can go over there in the name of God. That's why when they came over here in the name of God, right, they couldn't just enslave Jake like that. They could not enslave human beings because according to the Bible, there's a certain way that slavery had to work. And therefore, that's when eugenics came into play. All right, then that's when we start talking about the evils. All right, we can't just beat and do that because it's wrong. The Bible said we can't do it, and the Vatican didn't approve. The Vatican approved for Christopher Columbus. Okay, the Vatican approved for Ponce de Leon. Okay, you may have had these monarchs and people, Isabella and all them set up, but it was through the Vatican that all this stuff was approved. That's why when they took them back, the church said, nah, bro, you can't do that to these people, man. And so they took Gad back, supposedly, right? And then they said, well, okay, well, we can take these motherfuckers, because what happened was the Vatican ruled that you can't just, when you enslave them, you got to let them go after 7 years, all right? Because that's biblical, all right? You get the year of Jubilee. They had to go free, so they became indentured slaves. And that's why the Edomites came over here. They were indentured slaves. Eventually, they get, because when you do that, you get to go free with all your possessions, all right, after you serve your time. But you can't take your wife or your kids if they were born into that slavery. That's biblical, okay? And the scriptures tell you that. And so the Vatican, that's why when you came over here, I think Apostle Hard did a lesson that was doing a lesson that was over a sit down that Tazariak did, and it was going over grape in the Bible, or grape mentioning grape, and the dude asked Tazariak about it, and he said, no, we don't do that at all. It's like, but he was trying to point out that America was allowing it. It's like, no, America at a point in its root had biblical values. That's why women didn't work at a point. And they had to earn the right to do that, because America in its foundation had biblical values because they was ran by the Vatican. That's why when you see Americans coming over, so-called Americans, they got the Pope sitting in front with the cross and a rifle in their hand at the back, because the church was running the shit. The church had all the money. The church was the real bank in that time. You know, well, there was the bank, but then you had the Medicis and all them. There was, you know, the rich families. All right? But anybody, y'all got something? I know I was asking for a bunch of stuff.
Did you want more on this Henry?
Nah, that should be it.
I know you asked for the prognosticators and all of that. You still want that?
Yeah.
This is Isaiah chapter 47, verse 12. It says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorcerers, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels.
It should go up. They call them the Chaldeans.
Okay. I got you. Isaiah 47 and 5. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Yeah, so that's why, you know, he read the prognosticators, the sorcerers, because the Chaldeans was heavy into sorcery, and it was heavy into astrology and all that, man. That's and we always reference, that's how you get to the 60-second hours, or 60-second minutes and 60-minute hours. That comes from the Chaldeans, all right, and their math, all right. So it wasn't like Esau came up and he was a genius. No, he sat there and watched these other nations and do their thing. And then eventually he stole from them. Okay, so going up into this time, he pretty much came over here through Babylon. I mean, not through Babylon, but through their knowledge of Israel, King Solomon and all that, and they made their way over here. No, I'm just trying to keep order. As the Bible says, everything be done decently in order. You had a question? There's a question, sir?
Yes, sir. Can you teach me
What exactly you want to learn?
your way of life?
Well, I mean, it's in the scriptures. Keep the law to your best abilities.
Okay, I'm new here, but
Yeah. But what we'll do, we'll just go over what we're going over, because that's like me trying to teach you how to be an astronaut in 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But the main thing, let's get
sir, what do you mean
Ecclesiastes.
Sure, you guys have like an order. What young man said? Big speaker.
Oh yeah, well, it makes sense. If you got a staff, then you'll want to speak to the person in charge, or because if any of us are speaking, then that's the person that's in charge in the spirit. So, well, yeah.
I didn't mean to dishonor you guys. I didn't disrespect you.
No. It's all good. We're human. You didn't have any ill intentions.
So Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. It says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man."
Fear the Most High is have a deep reverence and respect, and keep the commandments to your best abilities, because it's almost impossible.
Sir, if you don't have a covenant, what do?
A what?
Covenant, like
a covenant?
Like yeah, I guess that's what it's called.
You talking about a Bible?
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, there's Bibles. You can go to a church and they'll give you one. You know what I'm saying? There's Bibles everywhere, and they're super for free.
Yeah.
And you can find one, and just start with the books of Moses. Yeah. And learn about the history and the culture. And then get into the prophecies. We'll tell you the prophecies. We're out here every weekend, same time, every Sunday, same time.
Sir, how I got here, honestly, the truth is, I stowed away on a ship.
Yeah, don't say it too loud, man.
Okay.
You know how I say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they figured it out already. I've already been 15 days.
Oh, okay.
I got to get I think it said something about it.
Yeah. So that's that. But man, you gotta get you a Bible. First, get you a Bible, and then get into the books of Moses. That's pretty much plain. Ain't too much. There's a lot of mysteries in it, but there's a lot of foundation in it. Get into that, and then start reading into your prophecies. And then if you have any questions, something's confusing, just come out here on Sundays.
Did I do wrong?
No, I mean, it ain't about the wrong or right of it. It's about, did you learn? You know what I'm saying? Let's get that in Songs of Solomon. At night upon my bed.
Let you continue on.
Okay.
So my name's Jackie.
All right, Mr. Jackie.
What I said to you, I put it on the download.
Yeah. Shit, I would.
Okay.
Yeah. You go ahead.
So the book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. "By night on my bed I sought him.
Who live, who biked up. Over with for you, see. But I ain't gonna say nothing. I don't know. Jackie with. I don't know that nigga. That nigga went north. I don't know. I don't know.
Songs of Solomon, Song of Solomon, 3 verse 1. "By night on my bed I sought him whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. I will rise now and go about the city in the streets, and in the broad ways I will seek him whom my soul loveth."
Yeah, so it takes, at the end of the day, you got to just keep being consistent. You got to search for the Lord. It's hard for us as men of the Lord, and you come up and say, well, what do you need me to know today? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, fear the Lord and keep his commandments, man. Keep his will. Deny the world. Outside of that, it'll be hard for me to put everything in a nutshell for you. The MOTB, that's a whole situation. Of Jacob's trouble, that's a whole situation. Famine of the land, that's a whole situation. Now we got to go into economics and all that, So I say that to say to everybody, and other brothers teaching, you just got to learn how to condense it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the best way I can do it is to tell them to fear the Most High and keep the commandments. Okay, that's if you start from there, then the Spirit gonna work with you and lead you to more other opportunities. Okay,
As the scriptures say, into a malicious soul shall the spirit not enter. So, if you got a malicious intent with, when it comes to the scriptures, then yeah, you're gonna be shut out, man. You're gonna be locked out of it. But the Lord will deal.
Yeah, which him in particular, he didn't have a malicious soul. He was contrite. All right, as a older man, older man, that I say that because Jake becomes sensual. Because of your age, you don't feel like, oh, I know enough. Or because you got a degree. Nah, man, the Lord draws nigh to the contrite, man.
Yeah.
Okay? And he resisteth the proud. Okay? So that's something to keep in mind. Now, getting back to what we was talking about, so once Jake came over here, all right, they began to establish on the eastern coast of America. All right. Now this is they tried to establish on the eastern coast of America, and they were failing back to back. All right. Then when Columbus came, he came, found the Taínos. They actually took him back, and the Vatican didn't approve of it because they damn near killed and created genocide on the Puerto Ricans, man. Okay, the so-called Puerto Ricans. All right, which again, why that land is called Haiti, because this is crazy, is you got a bunch of shit that happened, but I'm gonna get into certain situations. Haiti actually got their independence, but what happened was Haiti then fought back. I forget, it was like a voodoo. One dude was a king. I don't know if it was Forrest Joe. It's a bunch of guys, some incredible men back in the day that it irks me that niggas always want to put up their fists and claim black pride and claim some type of pride in the ethnicity, but don't have nowhere near the amount of balls as what's your boy name that did the slave revolt, man. Yeah, Nat Turner, Forrest Joe, Billy Bowlegs. Okay, there were men that showed immense amount of bravery, man. And one of the guys actually was a general in the French army. Okay, and he was playing like, you play one side and play the other side, and then once he got into position, he said, "Now I'm doing this for the freedom of my people, man." All right, but pretty much Haiti fought off, Edom, the French, and then when he fought them off, they hightailed it, and then came back with their arsenal and their warships, and told Haiti that you have to, guess what? This is where the riches and were gotten by deceit. They told Haiti, y'all owe us money. For what? For the slaves y'all took from us. Who was the slaves they took? Themselves. Right? Because Esau wrote a decree. He decrees unrighteous decrees. He decreed, this is how they do it. I now proclaim this land as being a part of the French, blah, 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 whoopie whoop. Now you own it. And now when somebody come over there and be like, oh, it's some nice ass land. Oh, you owe me some money if you want to be here. It's like, nigga, all you did was read a paper. And there was people already here. You can't do that. I forget that. I think it was Ponce that died by the poison arrow. Why you thinking they don't want to tell you that, man? They don't want to tell you got shot by a poisonous arrow from a Gadite, man. Because they don't want to tell you that somebody was over here already. Y'all was fucking up people land already. You come in somebody's house talking about now decree, and if you put a sign at the top of somebody else's hut, now that's your house. Now you want to charge people. And that's what they did in Haiti, man. They sat there, went over there. Haiti whooped their ass. They left, came back with their ships, and then said, y'all owe us, I think it was like equivalent to like 10 billion or something like that. Some brothers could get it. You know what I'm saying? The brothers are alert. Like they I think Haiti paid it off in like the 2000s, man. And that's what instantly a year after an earthquake hit their ass and decimated that island, man. That wasn't, and guess what? When the French put that fucking tax on them, there was a legal documentation that you wasn't supposed to do that. You're not supposed to go up to no country and demand nothing from them if they don't have a standing army. Okay? But the French did that, and America just stood back and didn't say nothing. Okay? Why? Because they don't want you to come up. All right? So those are riches gotten by deceit, man. That's one of the many examples of riches gotten by deceit before Esau. He starved the hell out of Haiti. Not what they did to Panama. They named Puerto Rico Puerto Riches. What the fuck you think you gonna do that to? Nigga, that's like playing it and say we caught y'all in a weird way, right? That's like you going to a country, somebody whoop your ass, and then you run back and they're like, where you was? Oh, I was at the Puerto Riches. What? To a bunch of motherfuckers that's searching the world for riches, you tell that to? Everybody getting their shit together and trying to scoot off over here, and that's what happened.
Themselves up.
Okay? Gonna name something Puerto Riches. They did that on purpose. Okay?
I got you. It says, when Haiti gained its independence from France in 1804, France demanded a hefty payment as a condition for recognizing Haiti's sovereignty. This independence debt, or double debt, had a crippling effect on Haiti's economy for over a century. Initial demand in 1825, France demanded 150 million francs, ostensible to compensate French colonists for lost property due to the Haitian Revolution.
Well, let's get the math to that today's time, because you hear 150 francs, and you're like, oh shit,
Says this amount was significantly higher than the actual losses incurred. The initial demand was equivalent to roughly $4.6 billion in July of this year in gold prices.
In gold prices, they want four something billion, and then on top of that, after you want $4 billion, you then send your army in and then steal 500,000 out their bank and then take it and then send it to American Bank. Why would they send it to American Bank? Because guess what? Let's look up who bought up Haiti's debt. Okay, you can read what you got, brother.
Con, it says the amount was later reduced to 90 million francs in 1838. Haiti ultimately paid France an estimate of 112 million francs over several decades, finally settling the debt in 1947.
Yep, selling the debt in 1947. Okay, you go ahead.
It says, by 1911, the United States began to play a role when it funded the acquisitions of Haiti's treasury through American banks. Let me see. In 1922, Haiti's remaining debt was refinanced and effectively transferred to American investors, primarily through the National City Bank of New York.
Yeah. So when y'all ride around, y'all fucking goofy ass black power ass niggas, when y'all walk in the city bank, that's the same motherfuckers that was punishing Haiti with all that debt, man. Chase Bank. That's oil companies. That's railroads. That's just JP Morgan money, man. All right, and these niggas were just puppets in essence. But a lot of these, that's why when they fuck up, they get bailed out. Your ass miss a day at work, you don't get no damn bailout for the month. That's way cheaper than bailing the fucking bank out.
Yeah.
All right, for a failed idea.
Can I read this real quick?
Yeah.
It says the economic impact, the total amount paid by Haiti to France, including interest on loans taken out to service the debt, is estimated to be around 560 million in today's dollars. Economists and historians have calculated that if these funds had remained in Haiti and been invested domestically, it could have added between 21 billion and 115 billion dollars to Haiti's economy over time, severely hindering its development potential.
Yeah, because you want to know a place where Esau got a hold of, but they really they couldn't put their economic oppression on them. All right, any of y'all brothers know what country that Esau fucked over war-wise, but could not put the economic pressure on, and they're flourishing to this day. Going once, going twice.
Estamos a nada de Puerto Rico. No.
Where Puerto Rico, Cuba's struggling. You know, it's Japan.
Okay.
Japan got bombed and all that, but through China and Vietnam and all them, they was able to protect Japan to a certain amount, and it's showing you that a so-called third world country can build themselves up. And America, aka NATO and the beast, do not want the entirety of the world to know that you can come together as poor people and make something better. Gotcha, they want you to believe that you need them to make something better. You need democracy. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want the people to believe. And that's why it says in Revelation that they worship the beast and his image. Okay? Because all their sorceries, let's get that. They worship the beast and his image, man. Because all the sorcery that Esau does, and that's his riches gotten by deceit. He'll sit there and go into like there's a lot of CIA funded coups that happen. So what happened is, let's say you got Panama, Puerto Rico, you know what I'm saying, something like that. They'll go in there, a president running the country, they're coming there like, I like y'all pineapples, man. Oh yeah, we eat these year round. Year round? The fuck? Oh shit. Well, how can I get on that? Nah, I'll sell you some. Okay. I ain't buying that shit for that price. I'm about to come back and I'm about to send some I'm about to go find one of y'all niggas, one of the most ruthless niggas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can find, I'm gonna give him weapons, I'm gonna give him power, and he's gonna rise up, and then I'm gonna put out propaganda. Everybody gonna believe it. So when we come over there and help and usurp that authority, no one's gonna care, because the American population, in their opinion, does have a part to play, but we're losing that. All right, it went from the Union to the liberal mindset, aka because the left wing was always supposed to be for the people. Okay, more than the government, and the right wing was more government and power based on business. All right, that's what that fucking liberal and republic, all that bullshit, it was just for the people or for the business. All right, but that shit got corrupted, and it was really one machine that was working behind them both. Okay.
So Revelation chapter 13 and verse 12, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed.
Yeah, now that deadly wound that was healed is the Roman Empire. Them exercising the same things as a beast before him is the same thing I'm talking about. The Republic and the Democrats, the Republicans and the Democrats, that's Rome. A Senate, that's Rome. The judicial system, that's Rome. The doctor system, the fibula, the tibula, that's Latin, that's Rome. Okay? When you go up into their courthouses, they got Roman numerals. You know what I'm saying? We go into their laws, it's Roman based. Okay? The structure, the eagle. All right? The way they carry their military. All right? It's Roman based. All right? They always move with power and numbers. All right? The colonialization tactics is Roman based. Okay? That's just before that.
It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
And that's those thermonuclear missiles, that's those Scud missiles, that's those rockets. All right? And they do those amazing things before people, and makes it people say, oh, who is like this? Who can do this? That's why when you get on TV and hear all these countries barking up against America, and you see people in comments, yeah, we got the B-2 bomber, we got this, we got that. Because their power is the power of the air, man. Okay? Just like, the scriptures tell you that Satan's power is the power of the air. Okay? And that's Esau's power to this day. He has aerial superiority. All right, through his drones, his ICBMs. Okay, we did it like a while ago where we went over all the countries that have their military spending, and it shows the vast fucking difference. A B-2 bomber. Let's look up the cost of a B-12, a B-2, whatever that fucking shit is. That B-2 bomber, that big ass motherfucker.
$2 billion per unit.
$2 billion. All right, in American airlines, most aircrafts, all right, are created through military aircrafts. So it's like a hand-me-down. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Boeing jets and all that. Them motherfuckers became military contractors, man. Lockheed Marquis. Okay? These motherfuckers, this is military contract, which is money. $2 billion per unit. How many B-12 bombers do we have?
Can I? I'll look at that real quick.
And somebody else can look at it. Yeah. They got to be on it, man.
19.
19. So that's 19 times 2.
38.
Billion dollars. $38 billion. Okay? And that's what they're gonna be sending over to people. And they use one of the motherfuckers to bomb. Yeah, they bombed Iran.
I got another.
And they was talking about like, and Esau so proud he'll tell on himself. Oh man, somebody shot down a B-2 bomb. They could never shot. They fly up too high. They say it flies up too high for a regular anti-aircraft to drop on it. I mean, to get the drop on it. All right, just like the Eagle. Okay.
It say maintaining each bomber also carries a significant cost, with some estimates placing the annual maintenance cost at around $40 million.
Yeah, that ain't no Bugatti. You change out a radiator on a Bugatti, that's a mil. You know, 500,000 or something like that. I forget what it was. You know,
I think that's about right, bro.
Like hit you over the head just to change out a radiator. How much a radiator for a B-2 bomber? Okay, and that's where the bulk of the America's money going, because that's the bulk of where their power is, in the medical field. Okay, why you think motherfuckers in America? Why you think all the food is polluted and the people are so this place has gotten riches by deceit. Okay, making up fucking wars. All right. Stealing resources, feeding, paying warlords, okay? You know what I'm saying? And then rigging elections. You know, the Operation and Fast and the Furious will tell you, okay? Fucking, Clinton. Oh, man, that man raised hell on niggas, man. And just gave Jake food stamps, okay? Made weed illegal. Made crack, the war on crack and shit. You know those the Bush, they the 3-strike rule. You know, they was lighting Jake ass up, man. Bill Clinton was, man. You know, so once we talk about the riches gotten by deceit, bro, when you really get into it, the patents, you know, those are minor shits, man. They didn't sit there and the ability to even live in America. They wouldn't even be able to fucking survive without Gad, man. All right? They went there and Judah and Benjamin and Levi. All right? Mainly Judah. These niggas, this how base Esau was. They stole some Africans. They couldn't survive. And then they was in the swamps. And they seen Jake was pretty much, and I mean Africans, so-called Africans, because it was Jake Israelites. They seen Jake planting rice. Oh, I could use this shit. And then they just start rounding up Jake over in Africa, right? Nigga, every Jake ain't the same. Nigga, like I'm from the dry area.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You taking me and then sending me to Florida talking about make some rice, nigga. And it's like I don't know how to do it over here. We did it on dry ground. We got this tool where we hit it here. The people in the marshy grounds, had different ways that they did it. They, used baskets or things like that. All kind of shit, man. And Esau just taking Jake, rounding him up, and like the whole thing of a garden. Like gardens aren't in lines like that. That's made for slavery, man. Right? Because why? Because those type of gardens that's in lines like that require a lot of maintenance. But then when you go to Gad, they'll take the squash, the corn, and this, and they all work in unison. Just like the guy that explained, why do you need to plant shit like this in rows, but then when you go to the rainforest, everything's cultivated. Everything's flourishing. The bugs ain't eating up this crop and that crop because certain plants fight off certain bugs. Certain plants invite certain bugs, and it all works as its own ecosystem. But through slavery, Esau used irrigation and farming and it takes extreme amount of labor, man. Like Jake wasn't expected to make the age of 19, but only reason why they surpassed that because they was running out of slaves, and the Vatican said y'all can't just keep going over there and getting new slaves. So what they did, they started breeding them. And then malaria and all that, they ain't want to touch Jake because Jake was gonna die of malaria because of swamps and shit. Like it was a bunch of hoe shit, bro. Like riches gotten by deceit and wickedness.
Well, say injuries.
Yep, and injuries.
So that's part of those injuries, man.
Yep. Like they was doing all kind of decreeing unrighteous decrees. All right. Telling the whole world that we were 3/5 of a man. Okay. And they're still doing the same tactic to this day. And that's why a person may say, why is all this information important? Because when you look to this day, they're doing the same fucking thing. Yeah. Once they label you a criminal, it's the same thing as labeling you a black person in that time via eugenics. Okay? I could do what I want with this person. Hell, he's a criminal. You could put a knee on his neck, treat this nigga like and just snap his neck in half on live TV. He was a criminal. He had a criminal record. He deserves that. That man could have stole a fucking pizza, man. And Esau used that byword and uses his byword and his propaganda to execute his wickedness upon planet Earth. Okay?
It's Ezekiel 35 and 3. And say unto it, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee.
And Mount Seir is a land in Edom, aka that's Esau. Mount Seir is Esau. Okay? It's like Jerusalem. It's the Israelites, or Zion. Alright?
And I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Most High Yahweh, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end.
Because they'll tell you, oh, well, everybody went through slavery, not this type of slavery. Y'all broke so many fucking rules, man. All right? Y'all were killing people because of their color, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jake enslaved other nations, but it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we treated Canaanites better than Esau treated us. Okay? When the nation of Israel took over Canaan, they stayed in within us, man. And became servants. It wasn't, you don't hear them fucking getting raped and shit randomly. Got them working and they don't make it past the age of fucking 15 and 19 years old. When you chop off a foot, you're supposed to let that man go free. Okay? Now Canaan's was prophesied, and then on top of that, the deal that they made locked them in forever. Okay? The shit that they pulled locked them in forever, man. Between what happened with Noah and what happened when they came up acting like somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You know, that pretty much manifested what the Lord prophesied. And he pretty much said that they should be a servant forever, man. Or looking at Noah's underparts when he was drunk. Okay?
It says, verse 6, therefore as I live, said the Most High, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Yep. So they definitely hasn't ran away from blood. They haven't shied away from blood. They're through their medical. These motherfuckers took German scientists after the World War. I think it was the 1940s. You know what, 1949 around there, or like 1940s when World War II ended. And these motherfuckers took all the German scientists and other German people that they needed, and one of them niggas was a fucking torture specialist, and they sent them into the Southern Americas, man, to torture the fucking Latin America, man. Okay, they sit and ducked him off there. It's like, damn. Well, even though he's ruthless, he's known for subjugating third world countries. You know, because he was a nigga that was rounding up them Amalekites, man, and tearing their ass up. Okay. Google what happened to the scientists that created the gas chamber. Google that. The so-called gas chambers that they had. America recruited that nigga. But if we speak out against anything that they do, we anti-Semitic. But Babylon's recruit ain't like they recruited this nigga and then beat the hell out of him. Yeah. They recruited him and used him. Yeah. Okay? You got something? Yeah. I'm still looking.
Yeah.
It's like this man, he go above and beyond when it comes to wickedness, man. You know, and that's why he was the perfect cast member for this spot in the Lord's movie, man. All right.
Yep. He has not hated blood, and he pursued blood. He pursued blood medically, war. All right. Killing little children, kidnapping little children. He's the largest human trafficker on planet Earth, man. All right, but then you can't take a white bitch across state lines. Shit. Oh, they want to send you to jail forever, but he could take a whole nation of people, declare them as property, and got nothing to prove for it, stealing a man. All right, but then when they want to be free, you want to charge them and put them in debt because they want to run away. You know? This is the riches and evil gotten by the sea. All right? All the gold that they stole out of Africa and Americas and all these other lands through the Crusades, through American so-called manifest destiny. All right? And then put the shit in history books. You stole our nation. You stole our religion. You stole our culture. You stole our land. Okay? And think that the Lord won't have it for you. And you niggas out there supporting this damn devil for all the wickedness that he's done, not knowing that it's some really deeply embedded, unremorsive wickedness that he's done to our people, man. Okay? And because he sit there on the Weather Channel and do one of your fucking dances, you want to invite him to the damn cookout. This is how you got here in the damn first place, idiot.
So Sirach chapter 12 and verse 17 says, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee.
That's right. And that's what he do to this day to these third world countries. If you notice, he don't help every single third world country that there is to help. If that was the case, then y'all be helping out Africa right now. Okay? After y'all done fucking depleted. It don't make no fucking sense for a economic rich or resource rich country to be so damn poor. It'd make no fucking sense if my backyard grows apples out the fucking wazoo and everybody eat apples and I'm the poorest motherfucker in the city because my landlord hiked my prices up so high and now I gotta sell these damn apples for so damn much to survive. No, that's systematic oppression that he created. Okay? Let's not be silly here, man. Fucking Peru, Guatemala, Africa, Iran, Okay? All these places, and the people that you couldn't subjugate, you put tariffs on, or try to politically stonewall them. Okay? These are the riches that they gotten by the sea. And ultimately, oil is the main richness at this point. But it's not only oil, it's your apples. Like I said, it's your meat. Okay? They corner the market on making money, man. Unless you create something, you have to create an apple for you to be able to make money. Outside of that, you gotta follow their system. Your ass want to be a boxer, you gotta be a boxer underneath their system. You want to be a sports player, you gotta be a sports player underneath their system. All right, you want to be a doctor, you gotta be a doctor underneath their system. But you bet not come up with your own way your own medical way. You better not be no Dr. Sebi. Nah, we ain't doing the pills and all that. We're just gonna do a diet. You gotta go. Because there's no money in that. There's no money in fasting. Okay? There's no money in eating fruits and eating your food the right way. There's no money in that, in healing somebody. There's no money in peace. That's why that any country that uses peace to come up and unifying as a poor country, they're gonna shut your ass down. But the only country that's proof of that is Japan, and they'll make it. And Japan is fucking flourishing, man. Go take your ass to Tokyo with $500 and see how far that gets you. Okay, that motherfucker look like a Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Z, some shit. That shit look futuristic. The railroad, the trains, the trash, the streets are clean. You know? And America don't want you to see that. They want you to believe that this way of living is the best way. They don't want you to believe that there's a set of rules that you can apply, that you don't need no police with guns to make sure you put away trash. Okay? They want you to believe violence is the fucking way. Okay?
I found something the German scientists. You still want that?
Yeah. Baba Shah.
Because there's multiple that comes up.
Yeah, it's hella scientists, but there's a torture nigga. There's a nigga, I just imagine a nigga with an eye patch, you know?
Well, I don't know if this is the one. The first one that comes up is Otto Ambros. Otto Ambros was a prominent German chemist and key figure at IG Farben, the chemical conglomerate that produced Zyklon B. He was a co-discoverer of sarin gas and oversaw IG Farben's chemical weapons division. He was directly involved in the Holocaust, using slave labor from the concentration camp. It says, despite his conviction at the Nuremberg trials for slavery and mass murder, Ambrose was released early in 1951 through Operation Paperclip. He was recruited to work for the U.S. consulting for chemical companies and the U.S. Department of Energy.
You see? The fuck you need him for the Department of Energy for MUD. You got this nigga that had an MUD and shit. Whatever our power company is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you be having menaces, especially like through the education system. It be a nigga could just walk in and say, I want to be the director of the board of education, and they let him do it. And it really be a fucking psychopath. Putting new unicorns in there. You know? But let's get back to this guy. This is the gas chamber guy. Okay? So this is how they, with tear gas and all. It wasn't like them. Now, I'm not saying, and I'm not trying to condone or I'm just telling the truth of the matter. Like, them Amalekites that was in them concentration camps, they weren't getting killed in a matter of genocide and how they were doing chasing them down, chopping their foot off, cutting them, castrating them and stuff like that. They weren't doing all that. But they was doing the medical part of it, doing skin grafts, having niggas up in the tank, put that fucking nigga mixed lemon, cayenne pepper, and fucking dog farts and have your ass in that bitch wheezing and shit. You know, like, oh yeah, this shit is debilitate you, whatever that fucking word is. Shut your ass down. Oh, we found out tear gas. Up in that bitch hitting niggas with 80 flashbangs a day and shit. That's what they was. Yeah, that's what they was doing to him. Yeah, like let him have a movie theater after that. Let him say go and watch a movie. This is fun, you know. Like they wasn't living their best life, but them niggas was getting moderately tortured. But that's where the Nuremberg, because that's where the Nuremberg Code comes from. All right, let's look that up. The Nuremberg Code. Okay, I did a lesson on that. That's where the you nigga women, all you fucking women, you need to thank the Nuremberg Code. Okay, because that's what it was really fucking for. Not you throwing your pussy like a fucking hurricane to the masses of the public, and when you feel like you changed your mind, had a new change of life, and you want to erase the amount of rise that was in you, and you want to criminalize niggas and say you was great, and so because you didn't consent, because your ass was inebriated. Bitch, you're inebriated every day. All right? So the reason why Resposado sales has went up, because you drunkards, you hoes. You hoes is the new niggas. You know? I be saying y'all like get down at this point. That's a fact. Yeah, like they should have never never gave you niggas money. They should never gave you nigga women guns, man. Tequila and guns.
No, that's just real quick. That's a good point. I remember, bitches used to drink the little wine coolers and shit. You know what I'm saying?
These bitches knocking Resposado
out the
Julio
bottle.
Resposado. I seen a bitch in the club. Not me being there on the video. She got the little straw. You know I'm talking about the bartender.
Oh,
yeah, they got the bartender with a Don Julio on the stage. God damn, bro. Give it up. It's a wrap. You go ahead.
It says the Nuremberg Code is a set of ethical principles for human experimentation established in 1947 during the Nuremberg trials, specifically in response to Nazi medical atrocities.
Yeah, in America, the U.S., a fucking A, after World War II, took the bulk of them Nazis, and the rest of them just ran down to Brazil. But a lot of them niggas ain't ran down to Brazil. A lot of niggas got shipped down to Brazil because they went down there in Brazil to fuck Brazil over. All right, again, that's another nutrient-rich country. So they went down there and sent that fucking torture nigga down there into Brazil and oppressed them. All right, and so they could put up their warlords and shit like that and have them people fighting over land. Meanwhile, you're taking all their resources. Venezuela going through the same fucking thing to this day. All that product that they got, these niggas could grow apples and all kind of shit year fucking round, and they starving. They doing bad, worse than any other country on planet Earth. How the hell I got a fucking backyard full of cows more than any niggas can? I could grow cows year fucking around, and you could grow one cow a year, and I'm the poorest nigga here because coincidentally, I must have stepped on somebody's shoe and that costed 20 fucking cows. And if I don't give you, I only got 10 cows, and if I don't give you 20, then the next year I owe you 40. The type of bullshit that they was doing.
Never out of that hole.
You never out the fucking hole. All right, because that was their new form of slavery was death. All right? That's why a nigga magically always die when that Panama Canal contract comes up, or war magically happens. That's why wars magically happen in the Middle East, because of the Gaza Strip. They want to have ships coming in and coming out. They need 2 lanes. And if they have 2 lanes, because what happens is when you go into that canal, say that the strip is right here, a boat has to wait. It's a 2-way, but you got to wait till the water fills up to the level, and you go in there and it takes you down to the level, and then you go out, and then you take another ship, and that ship comes in and does the same thing, goes up. And that shit takes fucking forever when you could just have a 2-lane. Ain't nothing like, that's like one street, it's a 2-way.
Yeah.
And only one car can fit. Traffic gonna pile up like a motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
So they wanted to make a 2-lane for Gaza Strip, so they could cut through and get from Europe into the Middle East easier, man. This shit is all behind fucking economics. This ain't no war on terror. This ain't no war on drugs. Because magically every country that gets oppressed, imagine they become fucking drug dealers. Mexico, they're drug dealers. Cuba, drug dealers. You setting up these warlords, you take all their fucking resources, and then now all they got left is the fucking opium and the weed. So it's like, I can't make none of, I'm gonna make money off of this, and they do that shit via underground. That's what they did to Afghanistan and the Middle East. They had them sell their opium to China, man. Okay? That's what they fucking do, man. Rape, rob, and murder, man. And steal. Let's get that. The devil came to do nothing but to steal, kill, and destroy.
This is St. John, chapter 10, verse 10. It says, the thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly.
Exactly. And we're giving life. When we tell you, oh man, stop eating candy and start eating fruit, it's gonna suck. Stop drinking fucking big shots and 7-Ups and drink water. It's gonna suck, but you're gonna have life. You're gonna live better. We're telling you how to live a better life, but it's boring. Okay? But it's only boring because this world is filled with evil and people think evil is fucking fun. Okay? But if everybody was right, then that'd be fun. Okay? You got more of that? Because outside of that, that's it.
Oh, the Nuremberg Code. That's all I got.
Yeah. Let's finish that up, and then.
It says the code was developed to set universal standards for medical research involving human subjects, emphasizing consent and safety to prevent future atrocities.
Yeah, because after the war, they try to save face by allowing that code to flourish, and then take the niggas that gave the reason for the code to be enacted, and then use them niggas to then do it to people, and they have their loopholes. They'll do it to foreigners, okay? Just like they're doing to these fucking we're getting back to that point. They're trying to destroy consent to this day. That ICE and all that, that's no due process. So ain't nothing to circumvent the Nuremberg Code via through that. Have you guys in concentration camps? You gotta take this shot before you go back over there because we don't want you fucking them up. Now they probably be tracking your ass, putting something in you, and seeing how your body reacts when you go over there and shit. All kind of fucking shit, man. All right? Because that's what they was doing back then, the Tuskegee Project. This is not medical advice. The AIDS epidemic, okay? Just doing scientific experiments on communities, man. Okay?
It says the code consists of 10 principles: voluntary consent, beneficial purpose.
Yeah, so voluntary consent, they have a kid in there and they offer McDonald's. So you could put fucking some kind of chemical or disease in them, or put your wicked medication, your snake oil in them, to see what happens to them. Okay? They were allocating certain diseases to gender, man. Just like fucking like they'll say shit's genetics. Just like they'll say, black people have heart problems. No, man, you give black people pork all day, you stress them out. That's the fucking problem. It's not that we're genetically disposed to having heart issues. It's that our demographic is like that. All right? Because if you put a trailer, how many niggas in a trailer park die from heart attacks? I guarantee you it's damn near equal fucking amount. Okay? Niggas that be coked up, alcoholed up on substance, being abused by substances because of oppression. Okay? Oppression make a wise man mad, man. They have Jake stressed out all in the fucking street. So they don't have no outlet, so they choose liquor, drugs, coke, and all that, and they do that. Okay? The women bugged out, so the women they all mad, they oppressed, so they nagging you, y'all fighting it out. Now you're oppressed over here, you're oppressed everywhere you fucking go. So now your heart all fucked up. Now they feeding your ass boxed rice-a-roni, boxed sandwiches and shit. Last fucking 2 years. You know? Boxed sandwiches. Lettuce, tomatoes, the works on that motherfucker last 2 years. You know? Have Jake eating that because you ain't got enough time to actually cook and shit. Now you're running around eating that. Then what you do? You run around and eat that to do what? Sit your ass down somewhere. That shit ain't even moving through your body. Then on top of that, they showed your ass breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You ain't even supposed to be eating at night like that. The fuck is all that fucking energy gonna go? To fat cells. What are you doing? Sleep? Knock the fuck out? That shit ain't going to no energy. You supposed to eat at the beginning of your day. Once you let your body warm up, get you some water, some fruit. This ain't medical advice. I'm just saying, bro, Jake just be eating fucking full course meals 3 times a fucking day with nothing to back it. You ain't running up no mountains. Your ass ain't chasing down nobody. You ain't on watch for nothing. Okay? Your ass behind the fucking computer there.
Sedentary lifestyle.
Yep.
Mountain Dew.
Yep, Mountain Dew. Then when you get off work, oh, I'm tired. Or 2. You know what I'm saying? And wonder why you got a fucking heart attack. Okay? But you going to watch these old folks home. Go to old folks home and volunteer. And see the motherfuckers that be strutting and shit. Hitting their shit. You gonna ask them, man, how you strutting at this age? I've been doing this all my life. I just never stop. It's moving your fucking body. If you don't move it, you'll lose it. But they teach you the opposite in society. And it all starts from school. Eat this fucking donut, drink this milk, all this fucking fat in it, and then sit down and be stressed out. Sit down and be stressed out. Fucking stressed. You know? Stop playing. Also, fucking.
Yeah, you just there like,
Yeah, like, especially as boys and shit. You know, preparing your ass for jail. But then when you finally click out and try to, you know, it's a fucking system, man, of oppression. I go on and on about it. At the end of the day, the Lord's coming to destroy that. To where when we walk outside and we feel a cool breeze and we like, damn, it's high tide, we can go and fish. Okay? Or we go and enjoy the weather, man. It's a beautiful day outside. Let me, you know, of course you gotta, you know, we're not gonna be working, but the heathen, but they're gonna be able to enjoy their days as well. That's the thing. You niggas y'all get mad when we say we gonna be ruling, but you ain't mad at this damn devil ruling. You don't give nobody no fucking rest, man. And we're gonna give people their rest. We're not gonna be overtaxing them, over oppressing them. Okay? So what the fuck is the problem? You know what the problem is? Your ass can't enjoy these flat screen TVs and Hennessy and fucking Hennies. Your ass ain't never, you dirty niggas ain't never been horseback riding. Your ass ain't, you ain't even got the ability, we all don't, to ride no giraffes and shit like that. You know? Ride certain animals that's like a cheetah. You know? Jake on a fucking cheetah getting it. Like, that's just fuck nigga up, bro. Like, yo. But we ain't gonna be riding on cheetahs. We're gonna be on chariots and shit, man. I mean, not shit. We're gonna be on chariots, man.
Standing on that, bro.
You know?
Like the Silver Surfer.
We're standing in and anywhere we won't go, like the scriptures say, wherever so the angel, the spirit looked, that's where the chariot went. So that chariot's gonna be running based off of how we feel. Man, I wonder what the ocean, roof, your ass is goes straight down in that motherfucker. You see us watch some great white sharks, you just sitting there drinking wine and your whole shit is translucent, like you in the ocean, man. And you just sitting there watching sharks just wander around you and shit. You know? Take my woman down there, you know? All my babies gonna be made in the most exotic places.
A peaceful environment.
Yeah, you know.
Tranquility.
Yep. That's gonna be a beautiful thing, man. You know. But the point is when we rule, that's why I said when the righteous rule, the people shall rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people shall mourn. When we rule, you're not gonna be overtaxed. The land, we're gonna uplift. We're gonna uphold the land Sabbath to where the nutrients and the fruit. We're not gonna have your ass. You ain't gonna be doing that. Your ass is gonna grow food how it's supposed to be grown, and you're gonna grow in abundance because we're not trying to drain every fucking cent of the minerals out of the fucking land and disrespecting the land Sabbaths and other things of that nature. We're not gonna be polluting the waters, so you ain't gonna have to have bottled waters. You could go up there and just grab you a cup of water and drink it out of the stream. It's gonna have all the minerals. You ain't gonna have to worry about fucking enriched uranium pouring down your stream and shit. You know, these are the things we're getting away from. Yeah, garbage in the seas. Do you want paper or plastic?
None.
Ain't gonna be no need for it.
Yeah.
If that shit ain't coming on a caravan, you don't need it. Because everybody gonna have their own. Esau is trying to control every fucking thing, from land to gold, which is the money, and the cattle, which is the natural resources. Okay? He's trying to control every aspect of that. Where water, even to this day, he controls water, man. We run out of water bottles. You like, oh shit, I gotta go to the store and get me some more water. I can't drink water out of the faucet. And they're purposely not attending to that damn water, so that way it fuck your stomach up and you get all kind of bacteria and parasites and shit like that. Devil's fucking evil, man. Far beyond what people understand. Your ass wondering why you get headaches every Tuesday and shit. Fat motherfucker, they got a migraine. Oh, it's security fat white hoes. We got a migraine. I can't work. Because you fucking full of Cheetos and Red 40. I personally, me speaking as a man, I believe Esau's putting shit into the air, to the food, to these products to make us disoriented. Because it'd be fucking hard to focus, man. Like Jake be up here talking and been losing their train of thought and shit. You know? Be talking about something barely construct to keep a formatted sentence together.
Shit, you downstairs, you walk upstairs to get whatever you thought about downstairs and forget by the time you get upstairs.
By the time you get up there, man.
What the fuck?
Fucking with your cognition, man. Now Jake gotta eat lion's mane and all this shit. Cause he's spraying metals and all kind of fucking shit in the air. Putting shit in food, spraying the food with all kind of toxins. Okay? And you niggas love it so. Okay? You wouldn't need a gun in a place of peace, man. Okay? You wouldn't need no fucking Ferrari to show you the man. You know? Like, goddamn, this world is just so lopsided and fucking fake, man. You got a bitch ass nigga in a Ferrari and he getting all the hoes. Not a man that can take care of women properly. Not no sucker. You know? Pay that woman. No, nigga, straighten her ass out. All right? There was a point in time when America, when before the 1950s, I didn't say like niggas, that was a popular nigga. That was a nigga. Nigga that go upside their head, that nigga that had that stroll, that's a nigga that went upside their fucking head and shit, man. That was the nigga that all women want. They still want to this day. It just got flip-flopped as far as power. The bitch niggas got the power now. Okay? The people with no backbone got power because Esau ultimately had no backbone. All right? And as a king is, so is his people. You know? So with that being said, we'll give all praises
unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Hakadosh.
Number honest apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.
Over with, you thought you could do it.